WAMD Aberdeen.
Welcome to Chamber Buzz, a presentation of the Harford County Chamber of Commerce. Here are your hosts, Heather Irizarry.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our February edition of Chamber Buzz with the Harford County Chamber of Commerce. My name is Heather Irizarry, and I'm the Membership Director at the Chamber.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday. My name is Kate Rodriguez. I'm the Marketing and Communications Specialist at the Chamber.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Connor Hanley. I'm the Membership Coordinator with the Chamber.
So your three amigos are back for the month of February. Can't believe it's February already. We have a lot going on at the Chamber, so we want to start off with some always exciting news, and that is new members joining our Chamber family, as we love to call it. So welcome to our first new member. This is the Brandon Tolson Foundation. The Brandon Tolson Foundation was established as a result of the Tolson family experiencing the sudden tragic loss of their 20-year-old son and brother, Brandon. Brandon Tolson Foundation seeks to exceed boundaries as a philanthropic organization designed to lessen the burden of losing a child. And I think that this nonprofit that they've established is so commendable. We all were familiar, if you aren't, with Brandon's story. It was in the news just 2 years ago, so I can't imagine having gone through that loss, and yet they have set up this foundation to help other families going through that grieving process, and I commend them for doing that. That shows a tremendous amount of strength, so we are excited to be able to help promote them as a new member and get the word out for that assistance that they can help to other families in need. If you are looking for a new lunch spot, perhaps, and you're in the Bel Air Forest Hill area, we also have our new member, Wild Tomato American Kitchen. Wild Tomato will take you on a food journey across America, celebrating this country's diverse regions and cultures through food. Their full-service, upscale, family-run, farm-to-table American restaurant offers hand-tossed pizzas, burgers, sandwiches, baked pastas, appetizers, fresh salads, and decadent desserts. And there's wine and draft beer, which is always nice. You can still take your family out, but the parents can enjoy a little
very nice,
delicious beverage. So excited to try that. We haven't been there just yet. I've talked to the owners, but that'll be a lunch spot for us ladies.
Definitely.
Yes, I was looking at their menu the other day, and they definitely have some unique dishes, so I can't wait to try Wild Tomato.
Yeah, we'll stay tuned with the review.
Yes. So next up, our next new member is Creative Solutions. They are a commercial real estate strategy company for non-real estate professionals. And what Creative Solution wants to do is represent the unrepresented and leverage their resources and relationships to secure your financial future in the real estate industry. Our fourth new member, Off the Chain Cycling Studio. Off the Chain is a cycling studio located in Bel Air, featuring Swin AC Performance Plus bikes, changing rooms with showers, smoothie bar, and Spivvy indoor cycling system. And whether you're motivated by statistics, top-notch instructors, great music, or just want to have some fun, there's something for everyone at Off the Chain. And they do have their little off-the-beat smoothie and smoothie bowl bar, where I've actually had their smoothie bowls, and they're pretty delicious.
Oh, jealous. That's another one on my list.
Yeah,
and I know
definitely.
You had some experience at
Yes,
Off the Chain.
I have to put in a little plug for Off the Chain. My mom and I go frequently. She goes a lot more often than I do. But I have to say, it's awesome. All of the instructors are great. It's fun. You're in and out of there in 45 minutes. The class is short. You work hard.
That's awesome.
And, I mean, everybody, it feels like a family. It really does. So
Right.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and our Jen Welsh, our accountant at the Chamber, she also goes there too. And I
Okay.
know a lot of times she'll come into the office and go there on lunch. So that's a nice option too for anybody working in Bel Air. It's right there. You can get your exercise on lunch, which I always would love to do, but
We'll get
we
there.
can dream, right?
Exactly. Yeah, maybe one of these days. And welcome to our fifth new member, Bright Star Business Solutions. Bright Star Business is a family-owned and operated commercial printing and mailing facility located in Abingdon, Maryland. They are one of the area's premier print and mail vendors for almost all industries, including healthcare, manufacturers, nonprofit agencies, small businesses, and universities throughout the region. So welcome to all. We're happy to have
if
you
you
all.
see any of the individuals from these companies, make sure to say hi and introduce yourself and welcome them to the family.
Definitely.
Yep. And just a little reminder that tomorrow is Valentine's Day.
Hopefully that's not new news for anybody.
Right.
I mean, I know some people say it's a commercial holiday and some people don't care, but hopefully this isn't like, oh my gosh, that's right.
Right. So for you,
I'm scrambling.
Exactly. So for you last minute Valentine's Day people, here's a reminder to not be caught empty-handed.
Yes.
Make sure that you buy local for those last-minute gifts for loved ones. Pick up sweets, flowers, gift cards, experiences, and more from Harford's finest local shops, bakeries, and restaurants.
Yeah, there's so many options locally. I mean, Walk-in Fush chocolates, there's Log Cabin chocolates, bakeries, Newberry, there's so many. Like, there's just so many good spots that
Definitely.
you have to buy local for Valentine's Day. Harford County makes it easy. Oh, and if you do buy locally, shameless plug for the I'm Here program, or the member-to-member visit. If you haven't picked up your I'm Here cards, make sure to stop by the chamber, especially if you are perhaps one of those last-minute people and you're going out today to buy your chocolates or your flowers or your gift. Stop by the chamber on your way, get the card. That way when you do visit a business in the county and they happen to be a chamber member, you can tag them on social media. Obviously, you might want to do that tomorrow after you give the gift, but still, that way you can shout them out and show your appreciation for the fact that you're able to buy such great gifts locally. So, shameless plug.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, it's good for all. It's not just it's a benefit for the members, and we want to shout them out. So
Yep.
Definitely.
Exactly. And in the spirit of sharing love, we are beginning a new segment about member businesses giving back. We would like to recognize businesses that give their time and resources to worthy causes. Laurel Bush Dentistry's Dr. Mary Teddy Ray and her staff volunteered at United Way's Project Homeless Connect on January 24th. They donated dental services to those who need it the most and were recognized last week with a certificate of appreciation from United Way.
which I know that they continue to be one of the dentists involved with Project Homeless Connect, which I would recommend that if you haven't, if you would like your organization to offer your employees that day to volunteer, it's a great project to look into. The Chamber has done it for many years in the past, and it's really an eye-opening experience in terms of those individuals that are in need in the county and all of the services that the Harford County does provide, whether it be through the county offices or private nonprofit organizations. And also in the spirit of just appreciation of the giving that our members do. Unfortunately, I know that we heard in the news over the weekend that there was a former employee of the Pat's Pizzeria that was shot in Edgewood. And Pat's has actually put up something that we've been trying to share through our Facebook page, that they are in honor of Timothy Youngquist, as I mentioned, a former employee. They are going to donate 10% of all dining room sales starting Monday, so Monday of this week through Sunday the 17th, and they're going to be donating them to Tim's family. And there is a GoFundMe page, so make sure to check that out. We'll be sharing that on the Chamber's page so that we can get that information. But I think that's amazing that they're, obviously as a former employee, that's tough for them. So if you're willing and able to visit Pat's Pizzeria this week, just know that a portion of those proceeds will be going to Tim's family. With that, so it's February. Obviously, we know the Super Bowl happened. That's something big that happens every year, and you might be thinking, what does the Super Bowl have to do with Harford County and business? But I found an interesting article relevant to the Super Bowl with Coca-Cola and Pepsi and the rivalry that there was this year because Pepsi came into town and Atlanta is known as Coca-Cola Central. So I want to quick talk about some of the highlights of the article, and if you are looking to actually find the article on your own, it was posted WAMR. We'll make sure to share that as well. And it was Pepsi versus Coke, the real rivalry of Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta. So it's really interesting. So what Pepsi did, they literally came in and invaded Atlanta. Like, they brought their A game. I mean, I guess when you're coming into somebody else's territory, you can't really come in quiet.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it was interesting. So not only did, obviously, Pepsi they've had this long-standing rivalry. This isn't new. We've seen the commercials in the past about the taste tests and whose is better and what's the taste. But Atlanta is the home of Coca-Cola. And what Pepsi came in is they literally flooded Atlanta with blue. I mean, they put up ads on random walls throughout train stations. Everything. But it's interesting how, despite this huge blue wave, that Coca-Cola, the response was not, I feel like, your typical with competition. I feel like sometimes competition can get kind of nasty, fierce. Again, that's a huge rivalry. And I have to really commend Coca-Cola for the way that they handled Pepsi coming in. And some of their ads were very targeted. Like, for instance, they put a billboard right down the street from the World of Coca-Cola Museum, and it read, "Pepsi in Atlanta, how refreshing." And then another billboard said, "Hey Atlanta, thanks for hosting, we'll bring the drinks."
Oh, wow.
So yeah, they're calling them out. I mean, it's pretty intense. But instead of Coca-Cola kind of punching back, what they did is it's funny because the article says that they know a thing or two about being a good Southern hostess and welcoming Pepsi. So instead, they came from a perspective that as Atlanta's hometown beverage company for more than 130 years, we're thrilled to help our city welcome everyone to town for the big game, including our friends from Pepsi. So they took that friendly competition approach and, that more of a unity, which I think that's huge. I mean, that takes, again, you want to talk about strength and really taking a different approach to competition. Welcoming it, think about it. Competition keeps you on your game.
Yep.
Like, why wouldn't anybody want to take some setbacks and have to be like, oh man, we're going to have to step it up. Like, look what else is happening.
Yep.
So it's interesting, though, because we all know how Pepsi and Coke both have expanded their product lines. It's not just soda. A lot of them have teas, they have waters, fancy energy drinks now. But Coca-Cola, I will say, they're still winning the cola war. Apparently, they have had a 0.5% rise in their market share, whereas Pepsi's actually dropped 1.9. And I think this is an interesting consideration, too, because I bet you most people respect the tactics of Coca-Cola versus Pepsi.
Yep, taking the higher road.
Right, and I feel like that has a lot to do with purchasing power of people. It's not just price or taste. I mean, they actually, especially nowadays with social responsibility and kind of that reputation that companies are held to. I mean, I don't know. I wonder how much Pepsi thought about that going into Atlanta.
As a consumer, I think looking at that situation, in my opinion, it looks like Coke won.
Right.
Took, like Connor said, took the higher road. So
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I think Coca-Cola said that their plan was to use their Super Bowl commercial to celebrate unity too. So, and they actually, the Coca-Cola Foundation announced that they were going to be donating $1 million to Atlanta's National Center for Civil and Human Rights, which would allow them to provide free admission from the end of January through February. So that was something, something that,
that's amazing.
All it is it's a donation at the very basic nature, but look how much that says volumes too about the way that they responded with Pepsi being in town. So I just thought that was very interesting. I encourage you it's a very short article, so if you're just curious to kind of read some more specifics about that. And it's a good segue because we wanted to talk kind of along the lines of that competition. So switching gears, we want to talk about some recent news relevant to the business community. So obviously, again, coming off the Super Bowls and all of the memes and the commercials, this is the time of the year when advertisers put out their most flashy, they're adorable, they're edgy, or commercial ads in order to garner that attention among all the other noise. And of course, that's a huge audience that you're advertising to. So that's one way to handle it, but what we want to stress is, again, that community over competition aspect. So I'm going to let Kate talk about that.
Right, and just going back to the Coke thing, their commercial posted online, the caption reads, "A Coke tastes the same no matter where you are. A Coke tastes the same no matter who you are, what you look like, what you believe, or who you love." And more than ever, we believe that together is beautiful.
I love that.
I love that too. Yeah. And I think that it's just that feel-good kind of feeling for that commercial. So moving on, President John F. Kennedy once said, "A rising tide lifts all boats."
Can we jump in? This is
Yeah.
one of Angela's favorite quotes.
Yes.
I just want to, she has a lot of them, but I when we were talking about this, I was like, oh, who is that?
Right.
That's Ange.
Yeah, and we've referenced this quote before
Yep.
in the office. So, and I've seen that, we've probably all seen that quote somewhere just on, pretty watercolor, like online somewhere, but it was actually originally, like I said by John F. Kennedy, and in reference to the economy. So this quote has been adapted in lots of different ways, but originally associated with the idea that improvements in the general economy will benefit all participants in that economy. And something that we at the Chamber find vital to a thriving local economy here in our Harford County is unity and coming together and being together. With our combined knowledge and resources, we're just better. So through our partnerships and other organizations in the county, we've seen firsthand that working together allows for vitality and vibrancy in our business community. And coming off of that, our annual dinner event this year is all about coming together as one voice for business in Harford County. And our theme is commerce and camaraderie, and that's a little strange just hearing it off the bat, I think, but it's a play off Monopoly, and it takes the idea of Monopoly and kind of spins it around on its head. And if we play the game together, we can collect more properties, pass go quicker than ever before. So the idea is that it's, rather than a monopoly, it's about unity and joining together and working together.
And if you spin the idea of collecting properties too, and more so thinking it about working together and developing partnerships, and that allows you to accomplish your goals a lot faster too.
So. Yes, definitely. So if you'd like to be a part of that, we'd love to have you. Our annual dinner will take place February 21st from 5 to 8 p.m. That's a Thursday at Maryland Golf and Country Clubs. And we have some special guests this year. We're really excited to hear from these speakers: Maryland Comptroller Peter Franchot and Mandy Diamond of Blue Zone Thinking. They will speak about relevant business and workforce issues.
But wait, there's more.
There is more. There will be one grand prize at stake, so make sure to register today. Today is actually the last day to get that lower ticket price.
Yes.
The ticket prices are going to go up at the end of the business day today, so you're going to want to make sure to do that.
Yep.
And that grand prize that we're giving away is bigger than any grand prize that I've seen in my 5 months here, so you're going to want to get in on that.
Yep.
And we can't wait to see you there at annual dinner.
All right, and I think with that, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. Great. Welcome, everybody, back to our February edition of Chamber Buzz. If you were not with us for the first half, we welcomed 5 new members that have joined the Chamber, reminded all those late, I don't know what to call them, people who just aren't aware that Valentine's Day is tomorrow. There we go. I knew there was a word for it. My brain is not on at 9:30 in the morning. And talked a little bit about some competition, some interesting rivalry from the Super Bowl that just passed between Pepsi and Coca-Cola, and kind of spinning that on its head and coming more from a community unity perspective that, supersedes competition at the end of the day. And of course, that next week is our annual dinner, and be there or be square. So make sure to check out that information. Obviously, all of this, the annual dinner information is online. There's an event on Facebook, an event on our calendar. So if you haven't seen that just yet, make sure to check it out. So we want to kind of end on our segment for the second half of the show today with some advocacy updates. Obviously, again, we as the Chamber strive to be that premier business advocate, that voice for business in Harford County. We're lucky that we have the membership numbers that we do at almost 600 members. That's huge. That's a big representation of businesses, maybe not necessarily have their physical location here in Harford County, but they're doing business here. And it's important for us to be able to communicate with as many of our member businesses as we can to see what are the issues affecting them. Are they aware? Obviously, we want to keep them in the loop with what's going on. So we want to do some recap on a few of those. So something that I know most of you have probably heard is HB 166. That is the $15 minimum wage bill that has been introduced. So many thanks to all of our members And even though we actually had a lot of past members or prospective members that are up on our communications who weighed in on the effects of $15 minimum wage with their business. So whether you took the survey, you signed on to our letter, or you offered an actual narrative about that increased minimum wage's impact to your business, thank you. Thank you so much for making your voice heard. That's exactly what we want to do. Speaking of voice, mine's about to go out, so I'm going to try to just power through it. Excuse me. I can't. It's not working. The Harford County Chamber sent letters. So we send letters to the Harford County delegation and any of the sponsors of HB 166, because obviously we want them to know firsthand how that law will be impacting our businesses and what they have to say. So we sent them directly to. In addition, Angela was actually in Annapolis on Friday. It was like an 8-hour hearing. I know that she got down there around like 11. There was some media press coverage beforehand, and she texted us at 6 and said that she was just about to go on for testimony against HB 166. So Angela's doing amazing things in terms of making sure that her presence is heard on behalf of the chamber and our members in Annapolis. And she, as I mentioned, she was there all day Friday, all day and all night, really, for the House Economic Matters Committee hearing. So our business community was obviously very well represented for that hearing. The committee listened to numerous business owners and pro-business organizations testifying on behalf of those devastating effects that $15 minimum wage would present. The hearing was quite interactive. Angela said she was confident that the business perspective was heard. And I think I just want to note something, because I know that this is kind of a touchy subject, the $15 minimum wage. We as the chamber obviously are not against the fact of, you know, employees and just being compensated, but doing it in a more, not advantageous way, but a more calculated way than just raising that minimum wage across the board, because obviously that starts to impact any individuals that are already at that level. When you're bringing everybody up to the same, you know, what does that mean for those individuals, and quite frankly anybody higher? Because I'm sure if you were working at an organization and you made 15 and somebody else made 12 and now they're at 15, you're thinking, what am I getting? So you know, there's that aspect. It's not that we don't want people to succeed and have jobs that, you know, can give them an income, but I think, you know, there's a better way perhaps to go about it, and it is a big consideration for business. And two, they were talking about, you know, a lot of companies who may have to offer lower salaries or lower pay, beef up the package with benefits. And so when you start putting everybody on the same line, there's only so many benefits that you kind of hit that cliff too. So there's just a lot to consider. And that's the stance. Obviously, most of you all should be familiar that any issue that we do take as the chamber is always from a perspective of being pro-business. Not that we are completely against the issue as a whole, but, you know, there either is a good, you know, legislation that does well for business, and the way that business operations run, or it could be very detrimental, require a lot of perhaps extra money. You know, it could create layoffs or a loss of employment. You know, all of that is when we kind of get to that against it. So
and then prices go up, you know, as employers are trying to afford to pay their employees, they have to bump their prices, and then nobody can afford.
Or the scary thing is with all the technology and artificial intelligence, I mean, we already see some of the jobs that are being replaced. You know, they're replacing that human worker. So this could be another potential thing to, you know, really expand the artificial intelligence and take out that human worker need. So it's a little scary, can be. I mean, again, there's just a lot of things to consider, and we encourage an open conversation and open dialogue across all viewpoints, and, you know, we just want to keep everyone informed of the possibilities. So the Senate Finance hearing, which is ironically scheduled for annual dinner day, but it's at 1 p.m., but we will make sure to keep you updated. We're still hoping to have representation from the chamber, even though we do have our event that day. So we will provide you with updates as we get them.
Yes, definitely. And as always, if you have a story or testimony from your business about anything advocacy related, please contact us. We'd love to know how it's affecting you or how it will affect you. So yes, never be afraid to contact us and let us know. Moving on to Senate Bill 128, and that's the post-Labor Day start bill. Yesterday, the Senate approved Senate Bill 128 with a 31-13 vote. The bill seeks to reverse Governor Hogan's order for Maryland public schools to have a post-Labor Day start date. Per the February 12th Baltimore Sun article by Pamela Wood, quote, Democratic senators argued Tuesday the school board struggled to meet the executive order's requirements to start after Labor Day and end school by June 15th, while also accommodating snow days, teaching training days, and religious and secular holidays. They argued that school boards should have more flexibility of when to start and end their school years. The bill was cross-filed with House Bill 437, which is scheduled for a hearing on February 14th, tomorrow at 1 o'clock p.m. And we want to know, would the post-Labor Day start bill be a detriment or an advantage to your business? We put out a survey yesterday in our Chronicle newsletter, and we'll be putting that survey again out on Friday in our Chamber Insider. So again, just quick 3-question survey. It would take under a minute for you to take, and just let us know how that would affect you.
Okay, and excuse me, my voice is going out too. Yesterday, the Government Affairs Committee met via conference call. It was a very informative call reviewing business-related bills introduced by the Senate and the House. As of Friday, the Senate has introduced almost 900 bills in total, with an introduction of almost 1,300 bills by the House. The Chamber is going to be keeping a watchful eye on bills focused on health care and insurance, labor, employment issues, cyber, business regulations, education and workforce, taxation, and much, much more. So we will definitely keep you all in the loop, keep you updated. And if you have any interest in joining our Government Affairs Committee, please let Heather or myself know. We would love to have more representation, more input, so we welcome you to do that.
It's a great way to stay in the know. Obviously, the Chamber tries to provide as much recap and detail as we can. If you aren't a part of that committee or, more deep involved in those issues, we don't want to bombard the membership with a ton of information, but we want to make sure that you're kept up to date with what's going on from that federal, state, and local perspective. But as Connor mentioned, if you are able to attend government affairs, again, it's an amazing way. We have really great representation from the municipalities, from the county government, the county council, county president, as well as our member businesses that can offer that insight from their industry. So the more powerful that committee is, the more that we can make connections and have that relationship with the Harford County delegation, that we're able to get these true stories of impact with what is occurring in the General Assembly to them, so that they can realize, while they're in those positions, to make a difference. Yep. So lastly, of course, I'll let Kate talk about how you can keep in touch with us, get all of our information, and stay on top of what's going on with the Harford County Chamber.
Yeah, so with those legislative updates, we post advocacy in action. Ooh, that's a little tongue twister there. Advocacy in action posts on our blog pretty regularly. We also post, like I said, our Friday recap, which is called Chamber Insider. That's out every Friday on our blog. And you're going to want to, if you're not already subscribed to our newsletter, it's Chamber Chronicle, comes out on Tuesdays. That's our email newsletter. And then Facebook and Twitter, we are Harford_Chamber. And then on Facebook, we just search up Harford Chamber, and we're going to come up. We're very active on Facebook, so you're going to want to stay in touch with us that way. Have a great Wednesday and rest of your week. Thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you. Yep.
You've been listening to Chamber Buzz, a presentation of the Harford County Chamber of Commerce. For more information, go to harfordchamber.org.